Hi, this is Olajide from CTF Security and welcome to another interesting video on the HackTheBox series. In today's video, we will uncover a vulnerable Grafana instance during subdomain enumeration, and we will be exploiting its SQL expression feature to achieve remote code execution. From initial access, we will pivot from a container to the host, use exposed credential for port forwarding, and finally escalate to root by abusing Cronjob. This HackTheBox lab highlights the risks of default logins, insecure container setups, and poorly secured admin interfaces. So without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back to the channel. Now, the very first thing we need to do is to head back to the lab description, and it says, as is common in real-life pen tests, you will start the planning box with credential for the following accounts, and we're being given admin account with the password. So I'm going to grab that, and we can quickly go to our working directory, which is in document/YouTube/planning, and I'm going to open Sublime Text, or you can use any text editor, and we're just going to call it planning since that is the name of this particular machine, and we're going to paste that credential in here. So this is going to be the username, and this is going to be the password. Okay, good. So since we have this credential, the next thing we're going to do is to run a scan on this planning.htb, which is the domain name here. So I'm going to grab that, and we're going to head back to the terminal, and we're going to use nmap-sc-sv for version scan, and we're going to specify the domain. And we can as well specify a name for the scan. So we're going to use the -on planning _scan in case we need to revisit that. So this is going to take few minutes, maybe about 1 to 2 minutes for the scan to complete. So while we wait, we're going to just play around with the application and see what functionality the application has. Now, on the home page, we don't really have much. We just have the About Us information here, which says first choice for online education anywhere. We don't really have much menus as well. But let me just scroll up a bit and assess what we have here. So we have the About Us here, which I don't think has any much functionality. We have the courses. Nothing. We have contacts, which we can just send message probably to the administrator of the page. We have some location information, and we have an email, info@planning.htb. So there's not really much thing that we can do here. So what we're going to do is to wait for our scan to finish, and we do some directory fuzzing. So we have our nmap scan here, and it just says the port 22 and the port 80 is open, which happens to be SSH service and the HTTP service, which is where our web application is running. So it means that if we're able to lay our hands on appropriate credentials, we might be able to SSH into the box. So the next thing we're just going to do is open we can just use this existing one. I'm going to clear the screen. So the next thing we're going to do is subdomain enumeration, and to do that, we're going to use GoBuster. So first of all, let me do ls, and you can see that I already have a word list which I'm going to use. You can find this word list in this DNS sec list. So I just extracted it since this is what we're going to be using for pausing the domain name of this application. So we're going to use GoBuster, and we're going to specify vhost. We're going to specify the user, which is going to be http planning.htb. Then we're also going to specify our word list, or probably I'll just use it on a single line. So let's just go with, the name is going to be combine subdomain.txt, and we're going to also specify end-domain. And lastly, we're going to specify a thread, which is the speed and also timeout. Let's use 5 seconds for timeout. And we're going to execute this. And this is going to take a while, and you can see that we've successfully found a subdomain, which is grafana.planning.htb. So what I'm going to do is to grab this, and we can edit the etc/post file, and we're just going to append that to the end of our initial domain that we have. We're going to save that. Make sure it's saved. And when we take this grafana.planning.htb and access it in a new tab, we should be able to access the interface. Okay, great. So we have the Grafana login page. So what we're going to do is to take the initial credential we're being given, which is the admin, and the password, which is this. We're going to paste it in here. We're going to log in. And you can see that we have successfully logged into the application here. So we have data sources, dashboard for the Grafana. So what can we do here? We can as well try to access the different functionality of this Grafana application here. So in order not to waste much of our time, if you go back to the Grafana login, which is going to be grafana.htb. Okay, so I think I'm logged in already. Can we log out? Let's just sign out. If you scroll down here, you can see that we're dealing with Grafana v11.0.0 here. So this happens to be the version of the Grafana we're running, and we have the documentation for the Grafana here. So what I'm going to do is head over to Google, and we're going to search for Grafana 11.0. So let's just add V there. Vulnerability. So you can see that we have some example here. For example, we have Grafana RCE Exploit 2024. This is a CVE name. So I'm just going to grab that ID, and let's see what this one is talking about. So this particular exploit is from ZecoSec, and it happens to be a Python script showcasing the proof of concept of this particular vulnerability. And it says, this repository contains Python scripts that exploit a remote code execution in Grafana SQL expression feature by leveraging insufficient input sanitization. This exploit allows an attacker to execute arbitrary shell commands on the server. This is made possible through the shellfs community extension, which can be installed and loaded by an attacker to facilitate the command execution. So when we scroll down, you can see the usage of this particular exploit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to clone it and possibly try to use this exploit against our planning.htb. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to go to code, and I'm going to copy, and we're going to clone this into the repository here. So we'll use git clone, and I'm going to paste it in here, and this is expected to clone that particular repository. Okay, great. So when we do ls, you can see the scripts here. So let's cd the directory and check what is inside. So we have the POC. I'm going to change mod and give it an executable permission. So we can also access the README, which will tell us more information about this particular exploit and how to use it. So I'm going to clear the screen. We're going to use Python 3. And we're going to specify the name of the script, which is the poc.py. And we're going to specify URL, which is going to be http grafana.planning.htb. Guess that's correct. And we might need to specify the username, which is going to be admin, password, which I'm going to paste very soon, and we need to specify reverse IP. Reverse IP is going to be our local IP, which is going to be 10. You can see it up here, 10.10.15.23, and then we need our reverse port. So we're going to use 444 for that. Now, all this command can be gotten from the repository I showed us earlier. So this is practically the same command that we are running here. So let's go back. Now, before we execute this, we might need to split the screen or open up a new tab. So we need to start a listener on port 444, since that is the port we're going to be using as our reverse port. So we need to make sure this is correct. Also, I need to paste the password, which is this. So I think everything looks okay. Let's start the listener and let's execute. So you can see it, we've successfully logged in. Our reverse shell payload sent successfully, and it set up a netcard listener on 444. So you can see that we already have access. So if I say who am I, so we are root. We can also do host name, and you see this strange ID, which is an indication that we are probably in a Docker container here, because it looks too easy to just gain access directly to root. So what I'm going to do is try to check the environment variables, and you can see that we have a lot of them here, and the one that will look more interesting to me is the Grafana security admin password. So I'm going to grab that here to paste that, and let's see if we have something else. And we also have Grafana security, what's the second one? Grafana security admin user Enzo. So I'm going to grab that also. So what this means is that we have a password and we also have a username. So what I can do is try to bypass this particular Docker container and use this credential to log into the actual host. So to do that, probably go one step backward into the planning directory. We can do SSH Enzo at planning.htb, which is our domain. We're going to use this credential as our password, and that should give us access to the Enzo account. Great. So you can see that we are logged in as Enzo. You can validate that by typing who am I, and you can do cat/etc/password to see if we have other users on the system. So we have Enzo, which happens to be 1000 ID, and I don't think we have any other user that fall within the range of 1000 and above. So probably we have just Enzo on the system. Okay, great. So can Enzo run? First of all, let's grab our users.txt. So probably have the user.txt here, and we also have chisel. So I'm guessing it requires us to do some port forwarding for us to have this particular chisel binary file here on Enzo's home directory. So first of all, we want to do at user.t. that's taking a while. txt. So we have our user.txt flag. So what we're going to do is also access some other directory on the system. For example, the /opt. Let's see what is inside. So we have the containerd and we have cron tabs. We can possibly check what we have in the cron tabs. Let me just go back a bit. Cron tabs. So we have the cron tab database. I can as well try to use cat to view the cron tab database, and you can see that we have Grafana backup commands, root Grafana. What other informations do we have? We have zip. So let me see, I'll just grab this entire file. So do we have word password? Nothing. We have root. Okay, so this is running from the root directory, which is interesting. Do we have another word root? So those are just the two roots inside the file. And I think we have the password, which is a zip p, probably zipping. Oops, sorry about that. Copy, and I'm going to just add that here. So I'm going to guess this is for root, since this is executing from the root directory. So when we go back here, we can try to check what are the services running. Let's start. TUPLN. So you can see that we have some local port running here. For example, we have a service running on port 8000. We have another service running on port 33060 and 3306. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing some port forwarding using SSH, and we're going to be redirecting this port to our local machine. And this is actually very easy to do. So since we have no use for this, I'm just going to cancel this, clear the screen, go one step backward, and we can do SSH Enzo at planning.htb, and we can do local port forwarding port 8000. And we can reference this to localhost, which is 127.0.0.1, and this is going to bind to port 8000. And as well, we can just copy this and modify it for other port as well. So the next port is 3306. I don't know what that is. So let's just try to reference that 33060, and this will also change to 33060. Okay, do we have any other one? I think we have 3000 as well. $3,000 and 3000. Is there any obvious port I need to also forward? I'm sure this is going to be for database. I'll just ignore that. It is the last one here. So let's just forward that one. And it's going to be 35719. And this is also going to be 35719. Yeah, so I think we're good to go. So I'm going to forward this, and we're going to use credential for Enzo, which is this one. And that should, okay, so we have issue with one of the ports. So let's just do away with that particular one. 3060. Could it be the way we specify it? So let's just grab this and see. Probably it's how we specify it. The error is because how you wrote your SSH-L command. I suspected that as well. So can we try this other mode? Let's get our credential one more time. Okay, so I think we're in. Now, if we go to our machine and we do 127.0.0.1 slash, let's say 3000, that should be one of the ports, not slash, column. Okay, so that is the Grafana itself, I guess. Still loading. So what other ports did we forward? So we're currently accessing this. I'll check out this one as well. So that's the Grafana. So let's remove the 3000 and put the other numbers in there. Nothing. Nothing as well. So what do we have on 8000? Okay, so we have a login. So what we're going to do is use this new credential to log in there. That's the one we got in the Cronjob directory, or Cronjob database rather. So let's see. We're going to paste it in here. We're going to sign in, and that locks us into the Cronjob's UI environment, or Cronjob UI environment rather. And you can see that we currently do have two active Cronjob. We have the cleanup Cronjob, which is running on /root/script/cleanups, and we have Grafana, which is running as a backup as well here. So you can take this and probably allow ChatGPT to analyze what the script is doing, or what the cron job is doing rather. So it says, let's break this command down step by step. It's chaining several commands using the AND. So each part only run if the previous one succeed. This part saves the Docker image name roots_grafana into the tar archive at /var/backups/grafana.tar, and this aspect compresses that tar archive with gzip producing this particular part. And lastly, it wraps the .tar.gz file inside a password protected archive with /var/backup/grafana.tar.gz.zip. The password used is this, which is actually what we use to gain access to the Cronjob UI. So that's practically what this is trying to do. So what we can try to do here is, since our current user does not have access to run sudo, let's just verify that it's Enzo. So it says, sorry, user Enzo may not run sudo on planning. So what we can try to do is, we can add a rule that gives the current user, which is Enzo, full administrative root privilege on the system without even needing a password. So to simply do that, we can first try to do a POC. So let me try to possibly access cat/etc/sudo my system. So I need permission to do this. So this allows members of the group sudo to execute the command. So we're trying to add something similar to this to Enzo's account in such a way that Enzo does not require any password to run administrative privilege commands. So we'll head back to Enzo account, or rather to the Cronjob or Cronjob UI, and we'll try to create our own new cron job. And I can just name this R007, doesn't matter, this is optional. The command we're going to use is echo. We're going to echo Enzo, and we're going to specify all equals to all, similar to what I just showed earlier here. This. So we're going to specify no password, all. Then we're going to close this quotation, and then we're going to redirect this into /etc/sudo, so that when this particular cron job executes, it's going to execute as root, and this command will get executed by appending this particular command into the sc/sudo alpha, which grants us full privilege. And we're going to set this to execute every 1 minute. We're going to click on set, and then we're going to save this. So we'll just wait for that to take effect, and you can see the cron job we just added. So it's either we wait for 1 minute for this particular cron job to execute, or we can just click on run now. Do you want to run this job? Click on OK, and this is going to execute. Now we can, did I just click on run now? Okay, yeah. So now let's verify. If I say sudo -l, so you can now see that our configuration is now showing all with no password. So now if I do who am I, we are still Enzo. If I do sudo who am I, you can now see that we are now root. So we can automatically switch to root by using sudo -i. And now you can see that we are root at planning. We can move to the root directory, ls to see what we have, and we have the root.txt, which is our final flag for this lab. You can as well access the script. So this is the cleanup script. So guys, that will be all in this video. If you've learned one or two things from this video, kindly like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps create content that you love. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.